Hey Bookaholics, this is Isabel and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about the Black authors that are on my shelves. So some of these books I have read, some of them I have not. I am very lacking in Black authors on my shelf, and it's sad that I just really realized that. I haven't really thought about it. Like, I just read what a book is about and I will either like it or not, and I don't really see the author. And honestly, I really should start really actively looking for authors that aren't white, because the majority of books that are on my shelves are white, and that is not okay. I really need to widen what I read and really need to support more Black authors and people of color. So this video is all about the Black authors that I have on my shelves, and I just want to shout out so many of them and shout out some of the books that I absolutely just love. Down in the description, I'm going to be including some places you can donate for Black Lives Matter. I'm going to be including petitions you can sign to help. I'm going to include Black Booktubers and Black authors and different things that you guys can do to help. I also want to bring attention to something going around on Twitter. There's a lot going on around in the book community on Twitter. There's a lot. One thing that I never really thought about is what book publishers pay Black authors compared to white authors. And there is a huge gap. And honestly, it is quite sickening that the fact that someone's skin determines how much you're valued. That is not okay. There's a lot of drama. I'm not going to call it drama, because drama kind of dumbs it down. There's a lot of issues that are in the book community, and a lot of those issues are how people respond. There is a big difference between words and actions. A lot are saying that they would be very, very supportive of stuff that's happening, and then when it actually happens, they are silent. And I am guilty of this too. I have kept myself silent. I thought, I don't have a big platform, and my voice is not the one that's important right now, and honestly it's not. I know I don't know half of what the experience that the Black people experience every single day, but silence is worse. So although I don't have a big platform, I still want to say something. So the fact that so many people are just keeping silent is kind of sickening and wrong. It's really pissing me off. And so I want to spread awareness of Black authors and what they have contributed. There's a lot out there. You can do your own searching, but I do want to share some of the books that I have on my shelf, and I am very ashamed that I only have so many. When I was going through all my books, I kept getting sicker and sicker when I couldn't find that many, and it's very eye-opening. It's also very eye-opening that I don't actively look for booktubers. I really should. I usually just watch who I'm already subscribed to and then find a few other people every once in a while. But I've also noticed that there is a lack of Black booktubers in my subscription box. So I really need to dig deep in myself and realize that I am a part of this problem. So I have been actively trying and making sure that I do more. So this video, I just want to shout out some Black authors and really just give some my support. So again, I have all that description, all the information and stuff that you can donate to, sign petitions and all that down in the description box, so please check that out. There's a couple things that I forgot to mention in this video. One thing that just had me a bit shocked in this time, there's been a few things, but the one thing is Book Outlet. I first heard about this when I saw Haley from Haley's Bookland tweet about Book Outlet and the vlogger friends, and I didn't actually know there was a such thing as a vlogger friend. But the fact that they had 7 vlogger friends, one of them was Black. That was Naya from Naya and Smiles, and the fact that she was pretty much just her token Black person and everyone else was white. And even when people talked to Book Outlet to see if they can be a vlogger friend, the fact that they had such a weak response, and the fact that they got called out and they had very blanketed kind of response that was pretty much just pushing the issue under the rug and just not wanting to deal with it and just wanted to say something. family friendly. Like, seriously, that's like the worst kind of excuse you could have ever come up with, because when was Booktube not family friendly? Like, how is Booktube, people who are just talking about books, how is someone going to make that not family friendly? Like, yes, there's swears, but you know, a lot of the people who you have as your vlogger friend swears, and that's just the point. They are not looking for family friendly, because pretty much every single booktuber is family friendly. They're just looking for the ones that they want who are white. Their response was just so ugly. I only bought from them like a couple times, and that was like in 2017. Like, it was a very long time ago. I haven't really bought from them since, and I'm honestly so glad that I haven't. I will not be purchasing from them again. I also want to mention that Books with Shay is hosting a blackout readathon. She's hosting it so people can read the books White Fragility and White Rage. These two books both deal with the issues that have built up to how a lot of white people respond, and how it kind of developed into the systematic racism that we have today. And I've started White Fragility, and honestly, it's such a great book because it really goes into the history of how the systematic racism was built, because our society is built on black slaves. Like, that is what our society is built on. This is what we're fighting for now. They fought for the right to own things. They fought for the right for freedom. They fought for the right to vote. They fought for so much, and they shouldn't have had to fight at all. This readathon is just to help educate. There's a lot that I have probably gotten wrong. There's a lot that maybe I may have said out of turn that wasn't the right thing, and if I have, please let me know, because I am learning and I am educating myself, but there's a lot that still has to be educated, and I have to learn more. So if I do say something wrong in this video, please just let me know and I will improve myself. That's what I wanted to say. Let's just get back into the video. So the first black author that I want to shout out is Elizabeth Acevedo. She is the author of The Poet X and With the Fire on High. So out of her books, I have read The Poet X, and this one really hit me hard. It is written in verse, and it was very, very powerful in the sense that it really made me think. It had me in tears at times, and it was just so impactful, and the writing was beautiful, and it was just such a powerful book. It is talked about in Booktube, but I don't think it's talked about enough, because it is just such a powerful book. It should be talked about so much more than it is, and I just absolutely loved it, and it was just extremely powerful. With The Fire on High, I have not read yet. I really am excited for it. This one just follows a girl whose dream is to work in the kitchen and be a cook, and that dream is being smothered by the idea that she can't. And I have not read it yet, but I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I'm very excited to read it. I don't know why I haven't read it yet, and I think just all the black author books that are coming out are just very important and should be given more attention than they are at the moment. And so this is one that I really think needs more attention, because I don't think a lot of people are talking about Elizabeth Acevedo's book. She also has another book that's out that's called Clap When You Land, and I have not purchased this one yet, but it is on my list, and I really do want to purchase it because honestly, I know I'm going to love it. Elizabeth Acevedo is definitely one black author that I really do want to talk about and shout out, and just highly recommend her books. So yeah. The next black author that I'm going to talk about, I think everyone has heard of her at some point. Everyone has at least read her one book. I do think that this book is important. I don't think it's the only black author book that you should read. There's so many out there that you have to purchase. I won't say purchase, because that's, you can borrow at the library or can do more stuff to read more black books. It doesn't have to be purchased, but definitely check out Angie Thomas books, The Hate You Give. This one is such a powerful book. It was one of the first books that I read that dealt with serious issues that the Black people deal with, and it was just such a powerful book. I absolutely loved it, and honestly I think a lot of people in our community have only read really this book, and that definitely needs to change. We definitely need to look up more books, but if you do need to start somewhere, I would highly recommend The Hate You Give because it is such a powerful book. It really opened my eyes. And then also by Angie Thomas is On the Come Up. This one was also such a great read and was just so powerful in its own way. They both deal with similar issues. There's still the aspect of family, and there's still an aspect of being discriminated against because of your color and just getting that thug stereotype put on you by the people who are talking about you and all that. And it's just such a powerful book, and it was very fascinating to follow Brie and her struggle and her desire to help her family and become a rapper, and just that strength and determination was just such a powerful thing to read, and I really enjoyed it. So I'd highly recommend this book as well as The Hate You Give. The next shout out I would like to do is Tomi Adeyemi, the author of Children of Blood and Bone. I absolutely loved this book so much, and it had its own powerful message in itself. Even though it is a fantasy book, it definitely delves into a lot more issues in our world as well through these. She also has a second book of this trilogy, I think, that it's going to be. I haven't read the second book yet, but it's definitely on my radar and I need to read it very soon. I absolutely loved Children of Blood and Bone. It was such a fun read. It was just written so powerfully and written so well, and it is just such a great book. It was talked about a lot back when it was published, but I haven't really seen people talk about it lately, which is very unfortunate, especially when the second book came out. Like, barely anyone was talking about the second book, and I don't understand why. But definitely, if you haven't yet, read this book, and just, it's such a great book, and just really shows what a great writer Tomi Adeyemi is, and just how much work she really put into it. So highly recommend this book. The next four I'm going to be talking about, I haven't read any of these, but they are definitely on my radar and I really need to. But the first one is The Beauty That Remains by Ashley Woodfolk. This one, I heard about it and I was very excited. I put it on my want to read, and then I never actually purchased it for a very long time. And then when I did, I didn't pick it up. But this one definitely sounds like a very powerful book as well. It deals with mostly, I think, grief and a tragedy. This book, I believe, deals with a lot of different issues. I know it follows, I think, 4 different characters, I think, after a tragedy occurs. I'm not too sure what that tragedy is. I feel like maybe it was a car crash or something. All the 4 friends from this tragedy start falling apart, and it just sounds like such a powerful book, and I definitely need to finally just pick it up and read it. Like, it's just been on my shelf for I think a year now, and I just need to actually pick it up. So definitely need to read this one very soon. The next one on this list is Pride by Ibi Zoboi. This one is a Pride and Prejudice adaptation, but it takes place in what's New York or something, maybe was it Brooklyn? Yeah, it takes place in Brooklyn, and it follows a character who lives in Brooklyn, and then this family moves in, and it's just this fear that they're going to like take over the neighborhood. I haven't read it yet, like I said, so I definitely do need to pick this one up very soon. This one deals with a lot of issues in like class and identity and all that kind of stuff, and I'm really excited for this one. I've had it for a little while. I think I got an owl crate or something, but I am very excited for this one, and I'm definitely want to give a shout out because this one I think is very important, because it takes a Pride and Prejudice novel that is definitely white and is taking that and developing it into its own kind of black narrative, and I think that's very important to see. So yeah, that's this one. The next one I'm going to talk about is The Field Guide to North American Teenager by Ben Phillip. This one I don't know too much about. I know it follows a character who used to live in Canada and then transfers to a North American high school and is having to navigate the aspects of the US atmosphere of high school. I'm not exactly sure what goes on in this one. I know this one deals with a lot of issues as well. I know there's something that happens at a prom or some kind of dance and things just start falling apart around him at this high school. But I don't know too much else about it. I know a lot of people were talking about it at one point and then it just never got talked about again. But when it was talked about, I really got interested in it and decided to buy it. And I just haven't read it yet, but I definitely do need to read it very, very soon. The last one I'm going to talk about in this one is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This one I've heard about and then eventually I bought it because I read the synopsis and I was fascinated by it and I really wanted to check it out. This one follows a mother who her babysitter is black, and when she is at the grocery store with the white child she babysits, she gets confronted by people at the grocery store and then a security guard accusing her of kidnapping this white girl who she's babysitting. That's all I really know about it, but I feel like this is going to be such a powerful book and just have a lot to say about the matter that's going on even right now. Yeah, there's a lot that's going on in this one. Sorry if there's noise going on. My auntie's vacuuming and people are coming over. I apologize if there's a lot of noise, but I am very, very excited to read this book. I haven't picked it up yet, obviously, but it's definitely one that I definitely do want to check out very, very soon. And yeah, so that's this one. There are definitely other books out there that should be shouted out that I don't own yet, and I need to really develop my collection of books that are not just white people. That is one thing that I need to change, is definitely just change how I purchase books. Like, I definitely need to actively look. Yeah, these are the shout outs of the black authors that I want to talk about today. There's definitely a lot more that can be talked about. Give you ideas of where you could start out in reading more black authors. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what black authors that you have read, what you plan to read. Subscribe if you have not yet, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye!